Good morning and welcome to On the Beat. My name is Kim Mastrofino, and with me today is Martin and Joe Hildreth. How are you both doing today?
I'm doing fine. It's great. Today's a nice sunny Tuesday. A little chilly, but
It's a nice fall day today, and I think it's going to be a beautiful day all day today. So we'll take it, right?
yeah, with the sun.
With the sun. Yeah, I like the sun. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good and great to be here today.
It's great to have both of you. So today we are doing a live broadcast, but we're doing something a little different today. We have Ben Barber producing our show, which we're really happy to have him on board. So wanted to give a shout out to Ben. And also to let you know, we have a great guest today. Her name is Roberta Mudge Humble. And so she is the president of the Westerly Armory. And she's an amazing lady, and we are just so happy that she's on. So please welcome Roberta Humble.
Thank you. It's nice of you to have me on. And this is a clever thing that you're doing for Westerly. Very nice.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's great to have you. But we are so happy that you were able to take the time because I know you're just such a busy lady. So we'll enjoy your visit anyway. So Martin and Joe are going to be conducting the interview questions today. And so we're going to learn more about everything that Roberta is doing and a little bit more about the Armory, which is a great historical buildings in Westerly. So Joe, you got the first question. You ready to go?
Yes, I am.
All right. You sure now?
Hey, Roberta, for those new to the broadcast, can you tell us about yourself?
Well, yes, I was born and raised in Westerly and went to Westerly High School. Then I went off to college to the University of Rhode Island and then got my graduate degree, moved on to teach at Community College of Rhode Island, which I taught at for 47 years. I taught technical writing to engineers and to computer programmers. So it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it there. And I came back to the Armory because I joined a group called Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, which nobody will remember. But the point is that I was the liaison to, at that time, 3 Coast Guard units in Rhode Island. But we needed a liaison to the 169th Military Police at the Westerly Armory because they were there then. And this was in the late 80s. So no one would go to Westerly. This is kind of a Rhode Island thing. And I get kind of a kick out of it thinking about it. So even though I was doing 3 other groups, I said, I will go down. So the Armory, I was rather horrified by the fact that the Armory was in really bad condition. It was a state-owned Armory, and they had turned it over to the National Guard, and the National Guard didn't have money to restore it or anything. So we began to try to restore it with the Guard in it. The Guard finally left in 96. Not that we wanted them to leave, but I will say it was easier to raise money after that. The town officially owns the Armory. We're responsible to restore it and pay for everything. So we still have to raise about $75,000 a year to run it. But that's my story and basically how I got to the Armory. And the first thing, if I may, a week ago Saturday, some of the members of the 169th came back, and we had about 15 of them at the Armory. We had a little reunion, and they were just delighted to see. Now, there was a room upstairs called the Nuclear Biological Chemical Room, and it is now storage for the Westerly Band. So it's kind of a little bit different twist there. Also, the captain's office is now the ladies' room because there was no ladies' room in the Armory because back then women were not part of the military at that point, particularly the Guard. It was originally the State Guard, became the National Guard.
That's very interesting, Roberta, and such history and such great things that you do at the Armory.
Thank you. No, it's a delight to be there. The building represents sacrifices made for our freedom. It also represents community. It's been a piece of the community since it was built in 1901. The original Armory was on Main Street, It was a wood framed armory. It was down from McQuaid's, closer to the beaches on that same side of the road. And it burned in 1899. And the one that we have now replaced it in 1901.
1901. I never knew that.
Well, the original armory in Westerly was a house over in another part of Westerly. But remember, when populations were smaller, armories were a room, like a room in a house. And so that house is long gone. And then the first armory is burned and that's gone. So now we have this. And people for years, since 1901, have come to the armory for dances, for sports like boxing. They've come there for years. It's always been, they did shows there, antique shows, car shows.
Wow.
We have pictures of the last car shows, which includes, I believe, a 53 or 54 Corvette, which they put inside the drill hall. The drill hall is 6,000 square feet, 60 by 100 with 35-foot ceilings, and it's the largest space of its kind in the area. Hence, people like to use it for whatever. We have a rental program. We're not as inexpensive as, say, the Elks Club, but we're not the Ocean House either. So we're, in between that. We don't mind renting to people who will take care of it.
Right, right. We've had many events there in our the past at the Armory, and it's a great event hall. I should say hall, but it's a great place to have an event. So, yeah, very interesting.
Thank
right.
you.
Martin, I think go ahead.
Sorry.
All right. Can you describe your role as a president of the Westerly Armory?
Well, as president, I obviously have to run board meetings. We have one this week. We have a board. We can have a maximum of 12 on the board according to the bylaws. We usually run between 10 and 12. We have volunteers. We're always looking for good board members. I know Bob was on our board, treasurer for a number of years.
Yes, he was.
We like to have people who care about it. Our board members work too, because we need more volunteers. Good morning, Pedro. I just saw him pop in there. He was nice enough to put our event coming up on Facebook, which we could use. I'm not a social media person. A lot of our board members are, but I'm not. There's reason for it. So, yeah, we'd love to have people come to tour the museum, come to events, rent the place for events. We do weddings. We allow wrestling and boxing. There are certain things that we think about not having. We were nervous about wrestling initially because we thought, oh, gee, do you think they'll take care of the place? They were some of the best people. I mean, they really took excellent care of the place. So we had no problem after that. So we're not snobbish about it, trust me, but we're just careful in terms of we've restored the building and we spent a lot of money, almost $2 million restoring it so far. And we want to do the basement next. So as president of the Armory, I not only run the board meetings, but I end up doing things like I'll clean the bathrooms. We don't have somebody who does that, but we keep them so immaculate. It's never a difficult thing to do. Do you know what I mean? It's always spotless. So a lot of Lysol, a lot of bleach, and we get it done. So I think it's important for people to, like, I'm president of the Armory, don't mind doing anything that needs to be done. And we just rejuvenated the Armory floor. John, our manager, because of COVID, we had some time with no rentals. So we have a lot of furniture. We have over 300 chairs and over 40 some tables up in the drill hall. So we moved them into sections. We washed the floor in sections. We put this stuff called Rejuvenate on it, which is fabulous. We put 2 coats. So the floor looks especially nice now, I must say. So at least COVID had one good effect there, we'll say. Little time to do things.
Wow. Sounds like a lot of good stuff going on there.
Well, there is. We normally have a lot of people come, or we have a lot of organizations. We have a lesser rental charge for nonprofits than we do for profits, different businesses. And we've had shows there, plumbing show there once. Of course, we've had boxing and wrestling. We've had wedding receptions. The weddings look gorgeous there. And as you know, we had the 350th celebration there In 2019, we had 2 nights of 250 people each night. People sometimes say, well, what about parking? It's street parking. But you have to remember, if you go to the malls or something like that, and you actually go through the whole mall and back out to your car, you will walk further than if you park 2 streets away from the Armory. So people
Wow.
get all, if it can't be next to the door, they get worried about it, I guess. So
Wow, that's
it's good
amazing.
to walk. We need to walk more anyhow. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Great stuff.
All right, Joe, I think you got the next one.
Can you tell us about the museum at the Westerly Armory?
Yes, we have a museum. It's both community and military. People think of us as just military, and obviously we're going to have that, and very proud, very, very proud to have that. But we're also proud to have community items because the Armory was always used by the community. So we have all sorts of nice things. We have a lot of women's things. We have a lot of that quilt. The quilt that you see there is the 18 historic armories of Rhode Island. It was hand painted by Barbara Barber of Westerly. She's a fine quilter. It's all painted on cloth, each armory, and then she mounted it all onto the quilt. So beautiful thing. We have that. There's one of our brides. That's 1923. That's Louise Card's mother, 1923. I think that's just a beautiful. And the mannequin is from McCormick's department store. We are very proud to have things like from McCormick's. Jim McCormick came in, gave us some things. We'd like more community things. We have things from Burdick's Sporting Goods. We want some of the past and we want some of the newer things. Obviously, things from the Washington Trust, America's oldest community bank, founded in 1800. They were the first bank to produce banknotes with a picture of George Washington on them. And we tell people this as we tour. There's the Armory. We use that for that was the gala in 2019 for the 350th. That's a Christmas concert by the Westerly Band. They do a Christmas concert every year. So we have all sorts of neat things. There's a quilt show. You can see the quilt show. That's every year. It's not this October. It'll be next October, assuming we get back in order. There's one of the gowns. That's from 1971. The gown was copied. It's a bridal gown copied after Catherine Parr, sixth wife of Henry VIII. And the crown, can you see the crown to the right? And thanks. The little crown was made by Bill Thorpe of Westerly, who now lives in Boston. The Thorpes had a metal business right over the bridge in Pawcatuck. That's a colonial, that's a reenactor's uniform that was donated to us, which is actually beautiful. The red jacket in the back is from 1832, Rhode Island Light Infantry. So we have all sorts of things. There's Coast Guard Corner, and then the toys you see are from Burdick's, Sporting Goods, and so on. So you get to see all kinds of things here. As part of Westerly Women's Corner, we have a special corner for women. We have women throughout the building, but also there. A special one for them. And so we have all kinds of neat things. People love the museum, even if they're from out of country, out of state, out of town. I always ask where they're from, and I do it a little differently, the tours there. We'd like to get some more docents, and I've made a couple of YouTube videos, which I popped up. They're not great. They're kind of very unprofessional, but at least you can see a little bit of what's in the upstairs museum room, what's in the downstairs museum room, and a little bit of what's around.
Nice. I think, isn't your father's Army uniform in the museum?
Yeah, my father was Robert Mudge, and he was a teacher, a principal, a coach, baseball and football, and he's well known. And yes, his World War II uniform is there. It's on what we call it the headless mannequin. It's one of those, just a body mannequin, and we have it there. The interesting part is I will be in another part of the room, and somebody's from Westerly is going over to the back, and they see my father's uniform, and I hear their voice say, "Oh, to be a boy again." And that was my father's favorite expression, and I hear that, and it just. It's just nice. It's very nice. But there are so many memories that other people have of other things they see there. And they tell me the stories as we tour. And so it's a conversational tour. And they do like that very much. They can go and just look, but the tour gives them a little bit more depth to the tour. to the museum.
That's amazing. I'll have to take the tour. I've never done the tour.
Well, please come. Tours are free too, and I want to tell people that. Yeah.
Excellent. Well,
And don't forget too, we won't do tours the day of the show. We have the Armory show coming up November 1st. I do want to mention that because it's a fundraiser for the Armory. So can I mention that now, or is that okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, November 1st, which is a Sunday from 10 to 3. We have the Armory show, which is antiques, crafts, handmade crafts, and Rhode Island authors who will be there to sign copies of their books if you want to buy them and so forth. So we'll have, I think, 22 vendors at least. We may end up with about 24, but we'll see how that goes. It's free admission. We have a wonderful snack bar, all homemade things, well, except the fruit. I'm bringing cut up fruit from Dave's Marketplace. I live in Warwick. People sometimes don't know that. So I'm up here. I'm about an hour away from the Armory, but and well worth the drive, may I say. I think sometimes we get into this whole snit about driving Rhode Island, but I do Rhode Island books and games, and I do Rhode Island presentations, and I've spoken in all 39 cities and towns, and every one of them is wonderful.
Yes. Yes. I think it's great that you do that and promote the state of Rhode Island because it is a great state. So it's wonderful. So thanks. I think Martin, I think Joe, you have the next question, or is it Martin? I'm confused here.
I think my turn.
I think it's your turn. Okay, go ahead.
How many books have you written, and what's your what has your favorite one?
Oh, okay. Well, I've written, first of all, I did my own textbooks in technical writing. So I did those. But then as far as Rhode Island books, I did the book on the historic armories of Rhode Island, and I did the booklet on the historic armories of Rhode Island. Then I did 7 other Rhode Island books. They're all smaller, and they're meant to be fun and to introduce people to the state. Then I've done 7 different games. I think maybe it's 8, but anyhow, I have to recount the whole thing. My new one is out this year, The Road Not Taken. And they have it down at the Savoy bookstore, and we also have it at the Armory if people are interested. So I think the retail on this is $20, but it's a conversational game. It's not a trivia game like some of my others are trivia games. But and if they want to see them, they can go to westerlyarmory.com and click on Rhody Books and Games. My favorite book probably is the Right to Crow. It's First, Best, and Uniques of Rhode Island. It's based on a speech I gave at the State House for Rhode Island Independence Day. And that was in 2005. Governor Kacheri was in then, and he asked me after, it went over so well, the speech went over so well, because I did First, Best, and Uniques of Rhode Island. He asked me to do something with it. So I came out with the book. And we've sold about 20,000 copies of that. So yeah, it's very popular. People love it. I get orders from out of state, Florida, North Carolina, Texas, California, Arkansas. I'm trying to think. It's amazing, and people want to know. And I also gave the speech for the National Conference of Secretaries of State when they were here in Rhode Island in 2010. And they asked me, some of the secretaries of state asked me to tour and in their state, which I did. So I made a national tour, and I took my book, Little Rhody and the Other 49, which compares Rhode Island to the other 49 states in a very quirky and fun way. And everybody felt looking good. It's a real tribute to America. And I'm very proud of it. Yeah.
Sounds like a great books you got.
It's for people who don't like to read a lot, but they like to look at the pictures, because it's based on the PowerPoint that I gave, and I did a little bit more with the book. But yeah, people do like it because they can learn a lot and it's actually a great tour guide. I do the presentation on that one too. I do presentations on all my books and games. So.
Sounds like a really good books to read and look at.
It is. It's fun. It's a fun book.
And then the novelty items. So great for people that have everything, and you're like, okay, what do you get? And what a great gift those would make.
Well, it's a good hostess gifts, Kim, because you go in and it leads to these all lead to conversation. These are
Right.
very human games. And these teach you about Rhode Island at the same time. You're going to know some and you're going to learn some. I'm a teacher by trade. And so I think it's a good way. It's what is that? A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Anyhow, people are having fun and they're learning at the same time. So it's great. So Leadership Rhode Island comes to the Armory every year. And in January as a rule, and we did last January just before COVID struck. And they buy one of my products. It's called the Rhode Island card. Every one of them gets one of these. It's Rhode Island First on one side and Rhode Island Uniques on the other. And you can put it in your wallet. And so it's like a cheat sheet.
You need those every once in a while.
You need it. Yes, you do.
Now, I know you've already talked a little bit about, you know, your books and, you know, your games and everything, but Joe has the next question, so maybe you can go into a little more detail. So go ahead, Joe.
Can you tell us more about the books, card games, and trivia games that you have created to promote the state of Rhode Island? Can you tell us where someone may purchase these items?
Okay, they're in 24 stores in the state. Locally, the Savoy Bookstore, up in Hopkinton, Hack and Livery, Wakefield Books. I'm just doing the local ones, but they're in 24 stores in the state. And if you go to westerlyarmory.com and click on Rhody Books and Games, you can buy them online. I wish you wouldn't because I have to pack them and mail them. There's a list of the stores. So I'm in Warwick, and there are 3 places in Warwick that carry it too. Benny's used to carry them. Benny's would sell hundreds and hundreds of them. We do miss Benny's. We also miss Ann and Hope. I didn't sell them at Ann and Hope, but I miss Ann and Hope. I think we're losing a lot of Rhode Island's treasures. Ann and Hope was the first major discount store in the United States. And people don't realize they were the first department store to ever have central checkout, shopping carts, night hours, and free parking. And Walmart copied it. And we know that because there's a letter in the Cumberland Inn and Hope that says, from Sam Walton, who says, I copied your ideas. So,
Didn't know that.
yeah, that's part of Rhode Island history.
Yeah. Don't you sell them on Amazon as well?
No, I don't sell on Amazon. I make because I'm more local, and I decided no. So, but I like the stores because I do only local stores. I don't do anything like Barnes and Noble, and they're fine, but they're not a local store. So,
Okay, that's good to know. That's good. Any comments, guys?
Let's see. It's very interesting that the old uniforms there are very interesting. Still look pretty nice.
Oh,
yeah, old uniforms are actually kind of nicer than some of the newer ones. Some of them, not all of them. A lot of them were wool. They don't do that anymore. You know, more man-made fabric. Yeah, there's different reasons for that and good reasons for it. But some of them are so handsome. Matter of fact, at our sale on November 1st, the Armory is going to have a booth, and we're going to put a few of our duplicate uniforms because we are loaded with uniforms.
Oh, wow.
We never sell anything like, for instance, we have Charlie Utter's uniform, but we have more than his uniform. We have his entire collection of uniforms. So if there were duplicate shirts, jackets, and so on, we're going to put a few. We're not putting many out. We're just going to put a few out to help raise money for the Armory. So all duplicates were things that people give us, and they said, I don't know who owned this. We can sell it because we don't have a connection to it. But anything with a connection, we don't sell. We do local military. We don't do, anything from far away. There are other armories like the Newport Artillery Armory. They have a collection of uniforms that is from around the world, and it's stellar. And if you haven't visited some of the other armories, you may want to.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds awesome.
wow. So I know, Roberta, that you've already showed some pictures. Do you have more? I know that was Martin's next question.
Oh, yeah. Are you ready to show us some pictures?
I know we already saw some.
Yes, I think that I don't think I can bring them up here, but I tell you what, if you come over to the Armory, I will show you everything. And we're open. As a matter of fact, we'll be open. We're only open, and remember this because it's tricky because we can't do it more than this right now. Monday and Thursday, 9 to 4. I
Oh,
try to get down. John is there, our manager, 9 to 4. I usually arrive around 10 because I'm mucking around up here in Warwick, and then I head down.
ooh.
And then, yeah, and we're glad to have people come over. We are making special appointments. Like we had a woman from Connecticut call in, and she's going to be down October 17th, which I
Mhm.
believe is a Saturday. So we made special arrangements for someone to open the armory and sort of give us a short tour to her because she can't come any other time. And we do by appointment and chance here. Yeah. We are now storing the flags too for Ken Burton. You know the flags downtown?
Mhm.
He had to move, so we've carved out a space down in the Armory's basement for him, and we have somebody who did construction for us free of charge and set it all up. So it's really nice for Ken to put the flags. He has, I think, 165 flags.
Wow. Wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
there's a museum room, yeah, and I think people enjoy coming up and looking at the different things. There's Coast Guard Corner there too, so
Oh, wow.
yeah, we keep it nice. Look at the beautiful floors in the armory; they're all maple. When it was designed, Walker puts maple floors in all his armories, which if you go to buy maple floors now, they're more expensive than oak.
Oh, wow.
They're beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks
They
nice.
probably they probably stand up better too.
it's tough. That it is.
Yeah.
Maple is very hard. It's a very hard wood. It's hard to stain both oak and maple because they're hard woods. Because I do a lot of furniture refinishing. So
Sure. Sure. Hey, Roberta, I have a question. With the event that you're having on November 1st, just for our audience to hear, how does that look? Because obviously we're in the midst of COVID. Are you only allowing a certain amount of people in the building? Like, what are the protocols that you have set in place for that?
we're going to keep it to around 50. We might get up to 55 at a time. That includes the vendors. So
Okay.
we will have somebody at the door monitoring.
Okay.
We will have hand sanitizer. We're going to do the whole thing properly, and
Mhm.
everybody is pretty spaced apart as it is with the booths and so on. We're keeping them apart. We ask them to wear masks. Everybody will wear masks and so on. Yeah, we're going to do it COVID so that we can run things like this. So
Right.
because it's Sunday 10 to 3 on November 1st, a lot of people will have gone to church, so they'll come in a little later, which is good because we won't maybe have a giant influx at 10, but we will have somebody outside monitoring this and only
Okay.
allowing someone in.
Okay. All right. Well, that was good clarification. I appreciate that. So,
Yes.
um, is there anything else that you want to offer for information? We just got a couple more minutes before we tie it up.
I'm trying to think. There's so much. Well, okay. One thing we haven't mentioned, we're home to the Westerly Band, and I don't know whether people realize that's America's oldest active community band. It was formed in 1852.
Hmm.
And they have a band room upstairs, which not counting COVID, they practice every Wednesday evening. And then they have a display out in the hall of instruments that are all over 100 years old. They have storage there, and they keep some storage in our basement, like their chairs that they take out to concerts and so on. But I don't think everybody always says, is that the Westerly High School Band? No, it's the Westerly Band, and we should be very proud of that. They're a
Hmm.
quiet bunch. They don't make a lot of noise outside of playing their music, but they are especially talented too. There's a picture of them. They do a Christmas concert every year, and people
Oh,
love it.
wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
People love it. They bring kids. The kids get toys and everything from Santa comes in, and they plan a whole really nice concert. It's beautifully done.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's awesome.
So I think it's important to. The Wesley Band is not often recognized, and they did 21 concerts. Well, we can't count the COVID year, but in the non-COVID year.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Well, thank you, Roberta. It's about that time to wrap it up, but we do appreciate your time. It's such a pleasure to chat with you. You're a wealth of knowledge, and you're just have a lot of energy, and you do a lot of great things. So we do appreciate your time, and we look forward to stopping into your event and to actually going to get some of those books. I'm really excited that you are so creative because I like all that stuff too. So thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Also, wanted to thank Martin and Joe for being great hosts, and to thank Ben Barber for producing this event. Thank you so much. Also, just wanted to recognize it is his birthday today, so happy birthday, Ben. And so,
Happy birthday.
yeah, so thank you to everyone
Thanks, guys.
there he is.
Yeah.
Also, want to shout out to all who listened in this morning. You can also catch this broadcast if you haven't done so already. If you weren't able to do this morning to view it, you can also check it out on our social media pages and other pages as well. Next week, we have Andrew Howell from the Chorus of Westerly on. We'll look forward to chatting with him. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week. I guess it's Columbus Day weekend coming up, so enjoy that as well. And we'll see you next week. And enjoy the rest of your week and stay safe and healthy.
Well, that's it for now. We'll see you next time on The Beat.
All right. Bye.
Bye.